Hello all, welcome to the tutorial web designing, and the first lesson what we are going to see is introduction to HTML. So everyone must have heard the term HTML. Yes, as we know, HTML stands for a hypertext markup language. It is a standard which is developed over the years to convey information over the internet by using hyperlinks. So most of us will know what is mean by hyperlinks. So hyperlinks are nothing but that is a link which is created in a web page to navigate from one page to another. So the HTML pages are mostly dynamic in nature. What do you mean by dynamic? In the sense, navigation is easily possible in HTML. And as we know, the latest version of HTML is HTML5, which is very much used in nowadays all the programming languages, whatever we are learning now, because it is more responsive when compared to the previous version. So coming back to the HTML versions, as we know, the initial version of HTML is 2.0, which was released in the year 1991, and it was created by Tim Berners-Lee. As we know, he is the very famous person behind the development of HTML. But the initial version had some drawbacks, and the updated version, by rectifying all the drawbacks, was again released in the year 1995. As we know, HTML is not a programming language. We call that as a markup language because we write everything in the form of tags. So HTML is the base for any website development, because if you want to see some images, if you want to display some text in a form of a table, if I want to insert some audio, video, I can design the web page only by using the HTML. So after the initial release, which was in the year 1995, the next release was HTML 4.01, which was released in the year 1999. Then again, even that version had some drawbacks, and with the full-fledged form, what we call as DHTML, that is dynamic HTML, that is also called as HTML5, which is also called as a responsive HTML, which was released in the year 2012, which is now used by every one of us. Okay, the next question comes, okay, why to learn HTML? So here I have highlighted some 4 to 5 points why we have to know HTML. First of all, any website, if we see whether it is following any programming language, let it be PHP, let it be .NET, let it be Java, whatever names you are hearing, the base for development of any kind of website, you should know HTML. Or either to customize the existing site also, we should know where to correct and what to correct. So for that, we should be able to understand the tags which is available. So we should know the HTML. So that is the first point I've explained here to create any kind of websites. And what is the second point is, if you want to become a web designer, so as I told, any web designer must be knowing three concepts. One is HTML, the other one is CSS, and the other one is JavaScript. Through HTML, what we can do is we can develop, or we can create, or we can customize the web pages. And through CSS is nothing but cascading style sheet. We can customize all the web pages of the same format. Say for example, if I'm placing a button in a first page, wherever I see throughout my website, the button will be having the same color, the same look, the same finish, and the same font. However you want, you can easily identify that, okay, this is the button of my web page. So if this is in this say green color, that should be a text box. Any normal user can understand the basic design of your web page. So that is the use of CSS. And if you want to do some validation, so what do you mean by validation? It is nothing but, say, when a user is supposed to enter any kind of text for the name, he's not supposed to enter numbers over there. So that type of validation is carried over by JavaScript. So to become a professional web designer, the initial thing or the initial skill what a developer should possess is HTML. So that is your second need. And what is the third point is to understand your world, wide web, how your web is working. So you must have heard of search engine optimization. If you want to optimize your website, you should have good speed, and however you search, your website should be the first one to be listed out in the Google. So for all those stuffs, you should understand what is the coding behind that. So for that, you need to know HTML. And the last point is, in order to learn other languages, whatever languages I have told just before, like PHP, Java, Python, whatever it is, the base which is needed to design or to customize any web pages, you should know HTML. So then only it is easy to understand what is the code written over there. So we can easily segregate, okay, this part of the code is your HTML code and the other part of your code is your programming code. Next comes the anatomy of any HTML element. What do you mean by anatomy? Is nothing but what are the things available there in a normal HTML page. So here, any HTML page, if you take, you can see three things. One is called your opening tag. The other one is called as a closing tag. What do you mean by tag here is any text which is enclosed between an opening angle bracket and a closing angle bracket is called as a tag here. So, and between the tags, whatever is displayed is called as a content. So let me take you to one example. So here, this H1, which is highlighted in orange color, the first one is called as the opening tag and the next H1 tag is called as a closing tag. So how will you differentiate between an opening tag and a closing tag is the opening tag will not have a slash, but the closing tag will have a slash. At the same time, it is not compulsory that every tag should have a closing tag. Some tags are called as empty tags, which does not require this closing tags. In the further lectures, you will be knowing that which are all called as empty tags. But 90% of the tags will be having a closing tag. So whenever you are getting used to the code, you will be understanding that better. So now coming to this, what is H1 is nothing but it is a heading tag. So I have an opening tag, I have a closing tag. In between, what I want is my content. So I want this HTML for beginners text to be to be displayed in the form of a heading. So I am just enclosing that particular text inside my H1 tag, a opening tag and a closing tag. The opening tag plus content plus closing tag is called as an element in HTML. So HTML page is composed of n number of elements through which you will be preparing a website. So let me take to an example. So I'm going to display hello world in HTML through a web page. So for that, what I did is I'm writing one code HTML, that is the basic tag, which means that you are going to create a web page. So I have an opening tag, then at last I have a closing tag. Every HTML will be having two sections. One is a head section, the other one is a body section. So what is available in the head section is the title. So what is the name you are giving for that HTML page? So here I'm just giving as this is a document title. So it will be displayed in the browser's title. So whatever text you are displaying there will not be available inside your web page. It will be just used as a title. Whatever text you are giving in the body, then only that particular text only will be displayed in the web page. So here in this body section, I'm just using two sentences. If you see inside H1, I'm writing this is a heading, and inside your P tag is nothing but it stands for a paragraph tag. So I'm just writing a paragraph, hello world. So if you run this particular program, you will be getting a browser in which the browser title will be this is document title. Inside the browser in the workspace, what you will get is you will get a heading like this is a heading. Below that you will get a sentence like hello world. So this will be the output of your particular code. So now where all we can use HTML, that is your applications of HTML. Just now we have discussed why we have to learn HTML. The same way where all this HTML is applied is to develop web pages, and we can develop websites. any programming language you take, whether you are a PHP developer, Java developer, or .NET developer, Python developer, HTML is the base. So whatever tags you write, it is rendered into the web page in the form of a control, like a text box, a combo box, a radio button, or an image, etc. Whatever you want to display, you can display only through HTML. Next one is internet navigation. Say, for example, I want to move from one page to another. How can you do that? There is a simple tag which is available called as hyperlink. So through that, you can easily navigate from one page to another page. For that, you need not apply any complex logic using some programming languages. So HTML is very easy for that. Next one, if I want to make any responsive user interface. Okay, so what do you mean by responsive user interfaces? Not only the pages, whatever you are developing is available in the browser. Apart from that, we can see those pages in a mobile, we can see it in tabs, we can see in any handheld devices. So for that also HTML is now available. So that's what I told, the different versions. So each upgradation, there is one upliftment in the language, whatever it is used. Next one, offline support. Since we write everything in HTML, only the logic behind that page will not be available, but the basic design, even in the offline mode, we can see it in your browser. For that, we need not go with any kind of internet connection. So offline mode itself, you can browse and see what is the look and feel of that particular website. And at the last, we can easily develop any kind of games using HTML, because any game need a user interface. So for that, the basic design will be done in the HTML, and in the backend, the coding can be in any programming languages. So like this, there are n number of applications where HTML is the basic thing you should know to create a website or a gaming application or a standalone application, or even for movement from one page to another page. Thank you. So we'll be continuing with lecture 2. Thank you.